This is Larry Lawton, and he's an ex-jewel thief. Larry's a former career criminal, once considered the biggest jewel thief in the United States.
And I take it and I point it right near Junior's head, on the side of his head. He's sleeping. And I pull three shots. Boom, boom, boom. Welcome back, everybody. This is chapter 3, called Loyalty, of my book, Gangster Redemption. But we're going to be doing it a little different. We've been getting a lot of requests for me to actually just talk about stories in that chapter, explain the chapter a little bit, and give some stories, in which I'll do. You can still listen to the whole book on Spotify and iTunes if you want to do that. You know, chapter 3 is called Loyalty, and let me tell you a little bit about loyalty. When you get into the mob, people think, you just make some money, you get pulled into the mob. That's not how it works. You are tested on loyalty, and let me give you a little thing how Dominic tested me. It was crazy. I'm sitting at home. I'm in Florida, and Dominic, I actually get a call from Willie, not Dominic. Willie calls me, says, "Hey, Larry, be up here tomorrow at 9 a.m. I hang up the phone and just go up. I get a plane ticket. Back then. You didn't need IDs or anything. You can actually just go to an airport and pay cash. This was in the late 80s. So all you had to do was just go to an airport, give them $200 if that's what the ticket was, and get a plane ticket. Look, you can say any name you want. But anyway, I get on a plane. I get there. I get to Kennedy Airport, New York. I'm coming from Fort Lauderdale. And it was really crazy because I was a nut job back then. And the first thing that would happen was I'd get picked up by My Way Cab Service, which was a mob-owned cab service that we had. You know, one of the guys in the mob owned the cab service. So anyway, he'd pick me up. The guy would pick me up, some driver. And the first thing he would do is give me a pistol, because that's what I wanted. I wanted a pistol. So it gives me the pistol, but it's kind of funny because I'm cursing. I hate the place. I'm here. I'm living in South Florida, living a life. And I come up the Belt Parkway. If you know anything about New York, it's traffic. It's bullshit. It's dirt. It's just this crap on the sides of the road. The traffic is bumper to bumper. I'm just like already going crazy. And so I get to the bar, the home stretch where we hang out. And Friday mornings, always we play cards. So all of a sudden we'd start playing gin. And I played, Joey played, a couple other guys, earners, and Dominic would come in, you know, and we'd play. And we just play it all day. We'd be playing gin. Dominic is seeing people all through the day. They're coming to see him. This is on Fridays, every Friday. So as we're doing this, I never say a word, you know, and it's really funny because on Fridays, we'd also go to what the place called La Polina's. La Polina's was a restaurant in Brooklyn on West 6th Street, and we'd pull the cars on the sidewalk, just like in the movies. And we'd have a table in the corner, and it was a round table, and we'd all hang out there and eat and everything. And then afterwards, we'd go back to the bar, and we had 2 apartments above the bar. One, there was a lady in it, just like you saw in the Gotti thing, but this is legit, same thing. But we used to have one that was empty, and we used to use it. We used to play cards and play big card games, and I'd stay there. And this is on a Friday. I'd stay up till whatever late hours. Now, once Dominic left, Willie left, some of those kind of guys, we were partying, man. We were doing coke, doing all the stuff you shouldn't do. But listen, they don't think anybody don't realize where the money's coming from. But anyway, so we're playing cards, and then Saturday would come. I'd still hang out with the guys, do a little stuff, be always in the bar. It'd be crazy. And Sunday, I used to see my kid. My son was very young at the time, and when he went back in Brooklyn, I had an apartment in Brooklyn and one in Fort Lauderdale when I started having trouble with my wife. So anyway, I would never say anything. So one day I I was sitting down with Willie, and I said, "Hey, Willie, what's that all about? Why did you call me up?" He goes, "Larry, you passed the great test." He goes, "We didn't know if you were getting too big for your britches. You're making a lot of money. You're doing a lot of stuff down in South Florida. We didn't know if you were making too much money and you wouldn't answer." And I learned a great lesson. I'll tell you why. Because it shows that where your loyalty is. And I did that with my crew. I'll tell you a quick story. Junior, a guy who worked for me, I had a rule. You either answer your beeper. Back then it was beepers. If you didn't answer your beeper, you better be dead or in jail. Only ways you didn't answer that beeper. So one night, I had a clubhouse built where I had my limousine and made it into a clubhouse where I had bookmaking operations, the whole works. And I texting Junior. Junior doesn't answer. I end up at about 4 in the morning. I come back to the clubhouse, and we had a room in there with a pull-out bed and kitchen, and the other side was the limo, and it was a warehouse that we built out. So anyway, I take out a 357, silver 357, never forget it. And I take it and I point it right near Junior's head, on the side of his head. He's sleeping. And I pull three shots. Boom, boom, boom. Junior flew out of that bed, shaking. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what I was going to do. And I said to him, you ever fucking not answer my beeper? You ever not answer my beeper? You're not going to live. And boy, was he scared. And I'll tell you what, he always answered no matter what after that. And the word got out. It was a one-time thing. I learned it from Dominic, and I passed that down to what I did. That's part of loyalty. And that was a test, and I talk about that test. I also talk in loyalty and why you need the loyalty, and you talk protection. You know, you need to be protected. Not that, you know, a lot of people think the mob's all this, loyalty and all the stuff. Trust me, when I was in prison, they didn't give me any money. They didn't do any of that. So that's BS. But I'll tell you where the protection comes in. I was making a lot of money. I'm robbing a lot of jewelry stores, and I'm making a lot of money. And when that happens, people get to know who you are. They know you're making money. And that circles, the criminal circles, people know who they are. And you didn't want to be not connected and protected by one of the families. So I was protected by the Gambinos. I was a Gambino associate because I was making a lot of money. I'm kicking my money upstairs, and nobody wants to disrupt that money-making flow. So I'm not going to get kidnapped, and I'm not going to be... I'll tell you, the story about that later. But you don't want to be kidnapped, and you don't want them to get your money, and they will get your money. And so you had to be protected. And it's funny, people say, well, why did you join the mob? You don't join the mob. You use it for protection, or you use it for the reasons you need. Yes, I grew up in that area. I grew up in the Bronx and Brooklyn, and that's what it was. That's who we aspired to be. So that's part of the protection. So that's definite. I tell you what it also means is when you keep kicking up, when you do the right thing by people. I'm making a lot of money. I'm bringing diamonds in. I'm making big money. And Mike the Bandit, a made guy in our crew, comes in to me and says, hey, Larry, he's an old timer. He's about 60 years old at the time. I'm a 30-year-old guy. He goes, Larry, I want you to start bringing your diamonds to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I had a great setup with another family. It was my setup. Everybody's making money. Nobody had to know anything. Dominic was happy. Willie was happy. Everybody's making money. And Mike the Bandit says, you got to bring it to me. Now I'm like getting mad, thinking, fuck this, man. Why should I give this guy anything? He's not doing it. He's trying to hustle in on my gig. So, like I was telling you, we used to go to La Polina's on Friday nights. So we pull up there, and I ended up telling Dominic before we were playing cards, I said, Dom, this is bullshit. I said, I'm making money, and Mike the Bandit's trying to hone in on my stuff. I got it working good. I don't know how much money I'm going to make with those guys. It's all bullshit. More people to know. He goes, Larry, I'll take care of this. Now, Dominic's making money, so he wants to do that. So Mike the Bandit, we're at dinner, and we always had a big round table. Me, Joey, Mike, Willie, Dominic, maybe a couple other guys. And we're sitting there. Now at the end, we're having the espresso with the old pots, the up and down pots, and bottle of Sambuca. And Dominic says, all right, guys, listen up. He says, nobody at this table works with Larry. Nobody. And I could feel the venom of Mike the Bandit, mad. But I'm inside saying yeah, fuck you, I know where my bread is buttered. And ever since then, he never mentioned it, never said a word, but I kept my connections. Things kept flowing. Never had a problem with that kind of stuff. But that's why you want to be with a crew. That's why you want to have loyalty with that crew. Because if you don't, things can get sketchy. I also never beat Dominic once. Never. Never beat him out of money. When I made a good score, he got his percentage. I usually hit him off at 10%. And if you didn't, something, not that he would know. He don't know exactly what the dime is or the exact money. But what happens if somehow it gets back to him that, Larry made $300,000 on that score, and I gave him, $5,000. it ain't gonna work. You know, I mean, you don't want that put in the back of his head. You know, and that's funny story with Mike the Bandit. Tell you another why you got to be protected. I was in Florida. I was in South Florida, and we were at a place called Flicks, and my buddy Ernie owned it. So we're in Flicks, and we're up in a high roller area, kind of high roller you call, where the tables are and stuff. You sit down, you champagne rooms they call them now, but it's the high play area. So we're sitting up there, and we knew a couple of girls up there, and there's another guy in that area, and he's really talking and really disrespecting this girl I knew up there. And I don't know who he is, so I go up to him, and he looked at me, and boom, I hit him. Bam! He kind of rocks and goes back, and he goes, Ernie owned the place, splits us up, and the guy's going, I'll fucking kill you. And yeah, you're in our place in South Florida, and you're going to kill us. So, but Ernie says, we're going to put you in a 55-gallon drum, motherfucker. Get in the back. We're going to get out of here. Get out of here. I forget about it, what do I know? So I'm back in Brooklyn. I'm at the home stretch, and it's a Saturday, a bunch of people around, and in comes this guy that I hit, and another guy. I don't know him. He notices me, sees me down at the end with a whole bunch of our guys, and he goes, I'm going to kill him. And I'm like, who is this guy? It dawned on me, it's the guy I hit. I always had a pistol on me. So I'm like, what's going on? And then everybody's screaming, and he's coming around. Our guy's like, what? They don't know who he is. But Willie knows who he is. So Willie goes, whoa, what's going on? And this guy says, this guy disrespected me. I was in Florida. And the story comes out. I'm like, what the hell? Willie goes, hold on. He calls me in the back. He actually calls me into like the storage room. He goes, Larry, what happened? I said, Willie, what do you mean what happened? I'm in South Florida. The guy's an asshole. He was bullshit with a girl. And he was real disrespectful. I hit him. Willie goes, man, well, we got some problems now. And I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on? He goes, all right. He goes, I got to call Dominic. So Dominic lived in Jersey. So Willie goes, clear it out. And the whole bar clears out onto Kings Highway. It's right off Kings Highway and West 10th is the home stretch. So everybody, there's got to be about 30, 40 guys out in the street. And they're just waiting there. But I'm in the bar sitting at one end, way long. It's a long bar. I'm at the end with Joey. I kept Joey with me. And Joey did the drugs. I did the robberies. And we were up-and-coming guys. And this guy's on the other end with his friend. And I could feel the venom. And I'm like telling Joey, man, I got to kill this guy, Joey. I got to kill him. I don't give a fuck. I got to kill this guy, man. What the fuck? I didn't know all this shit. And he goes, man, calm down, you psycho. All of this. In comes Dominic. Dominic's this little 5'7" guy. He comes all the way from Jersey. He had a parking spot right in front of the home stretch. No one could park there. That was his spot. It's a metered and all that, but that didn't matter. People knew that was his spot. So he comes in, walks up, he talks to Willie for a few minutes, and I'm sitting there. Looks at me, gives me the finger, and come over. I go to the back again. I explain to him the same story I do to Willie. And Dominic goes, I'm going to try to quash this. This guy's a made man. He goes, and this is going to be rough, but you got to apologize and all that. And I said, of course, Dom, whatever you want. I'm just thinking I was going to get killed, and I'm still worried, So Dominic brings me up to the front of the bar. He talks to the guy. He says, listen. I said, man, sir, I'm sorry. I really didn't know who you are. I says, I didn't mean any disrespect to you. And he's still, I don't give a shit. I'm the kid. And he's with Dominic. And Dominic's a powerful guy. Dominic used to go to Paul Castellano's house. I used to go with him. Paul Castellano's house was the White House in Staten Island. They called it the White House. It looked like the White House with the big stanchions, and it's up on Toad Hill in Staten Island. So Dominic gets mad, leaves, gets on the phone. Very rarely touches the phone in this place, but no one ever says a few words, comes back and says, get out of here. Anything happens to this kid, you won't make 6 o'clock tonight. I'll never forget. And I'm like, holy shit, what happened? The guy got so pissed, he didn't know what to do. Of course, he ain't messing with Dominic, especially in our land. He leaves. All the guys come back in, and we're all having drinks. I'm feeling like $1 million. And I think back about that, and I go, man, all that mob stuff, you know what it's about? Money. I made a lot of money for a lot of people, and that's all they care about. That is what being, you know, kind of connected meant. That's why you needed to be connected. It was crazy, all that kind of stuff. So then, you know, talk about loyalty and then getting back more and more powerful with the mob. I had the pizzeria. I had a pizzeria down in South Florida, Lenny's Pizzeria. I named it Lenny after my father-in-law. It was Lenny's Pizzeria. It was in a plaza. So I said, you know, I'm making money on hot diamonds. I'm going back and forth to New York. I'm saying, what am I doing at a pizzeria? Too much work. So what do I do? Brainstorm I do? I said, I'm going to burn this place down. I'm going to get the insurance. So one time, I'm in the pizzeria and I take a lighter, just a regular lighter, and try to see it, just to see if it would have lit. It gave a little mark on it, but it's got those fire-resistant sealing, drop sealings. It doesn't go up, but there's a mark. I don't think anything of it. I say, okay, I can't go anything like that. I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go hang out with a couple that we know, my wife and I. She don't know what's going on, but we're going to go hang out and go for drinks in a jacuzzi on a Sunday night. It's usually we used to close early. And we're going to go in there, and at that time, I'm going to light the place on fire. It had an alarm. They're going to call me, and I'm going to come and do all the, you know, oh, my pizza race is gone, pizza. So we do that. I end up, I light a fire in the garbage can that's against the wall going into the back. Lock the place up real quick. Go. My wife doesn't know anything that's going on. We go to our couple's house. We're there. We're in the jacuzzi. We're hanging out for hours. No beep. You know, you get the beepers. I'm getting no beep. I'm saying, what's going on? Why no beep? And I didn't know what was going on. So on the way home, about midnight, I pass the pizzeria and it's dark. Nothing. No fire or anything. So I open up the pizzeria, I go in, and sure enough, the fire went up the wall, but it went out on its own. Just went out on its own. And I said, oh, man. So I said, I got mad. I ended up lighting the pizza boxes that were stacked. So I light the pizza boxes, come out, close the door, go home, and all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, my beeper goes off, the phone's going off, your place is on fire. I go down, oh my God, my place is on fire, oh my God. And the firefighters are putting out, I end up burning the whole plaza down. The whole plaza. I end up burning a barbecue joint, an insurance joint, the 7-Eleven was next to us, so that didn't burn down, but there was 4 stores that was right down the whole place, and I burned all 4. They all made money. They actually told me later they were happy because they made money after I burned. I never got my insurance money. They knew it was arson, but they didn't know it was me. They couldn't prove it was me. They knew it was me. They tried to get me, but even my wife was loyal. She never said a word, didn't know anything. My both wives were great. I'll never say a bad word about them, ever. So that's what loyalty, you know. I look back and I was loyal, and I learned a lot about life and loyalty from certain things. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say the mob life was the great life, but there were some principles that you can follow and things that were pretty good. So I look at that in a positive way. Although what I did was wrong, I look at that in a positive way. So that's loyalty. That was chapter 3. I hope you're liking this new format. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Let us know in comments. And keep following us because we're coming out with some more powerful videos every day. And I'll be coming up with chapter 4 soon. If you can listen to the whole chapters in Spotify and iTunes.